people of Earth, and welcome back to our second show of Saturday's NFL Playoff Saturday. Both games are complete. We had one absolutely, completely wrong, and we had one absolutely, completely right. So, how'd we do? Well, let's see how we did here. Oh, my goodness gracious. All righty. Not in flake out and just, again, like I said, the pre setup is pretty cool when it works. There's our first game. Let's see how we did. Anyway, forgot my fucking hat. That's better. That's better. All right. Anyway, hey, how'd we do? We went 1-1. We lost the second game. We covered. Ravens covered, obviously. Chargers were not even in the game. They just, wow. They just looked completely unprepared. But needless to say, we hit the over in that one, and we just missed the over in the freaking Steeler Raven game by 1.5 points. I thought for sure somebody kick a fucking field goal or something there in the fourth quarter, but didn't work out. Anyway, we got numbers running down there. Yes, Chargers totally decided not to show up and play football. I don't know what happens to that team. They just look very, very flat, unprepared, just horrible. Hard to believe that that was a hardball team, coached hardball team. That was pretty pathetic. That was a bad showing. Um, Probably just as bad as the uh, the Steelers' performance today. But that by no means was a good looking game either. But let's get to the first game. Let's look some of these stats over real quick here. I mean, it couldn't have gone any worse for the Chargers. As it started out. We got Justin Herbert had probably the worst game of the year. Definitely his worst playoff. 14 for 32, 242, a touchdown, 4 interceptions, one pick six. It just wow. Just hey, I'm going to tell you something. The Texans surprised the shit out of me today by playing in a great defense. They played absolutely a fantastic defense, a lights out defense, pretty much all of it. We'll get into it, especially in the third downs. Like I was telling you about third downs. Third downs were big today in both games, and we'll see when we check the numbers. But this game, just everything I said about the Chargers is exactly what the Texans did, and they won it, and deservingly so. They put a pounding on the Chargers, proved us wrong. Yeah, Hayward with a 40.9 rating today. C.J. Stroud showed some maturity today, hung in there tight, made some really big plays, really smart plays. 22 for 33, 282, one touchdown, one interception, and 90.7 rating. Good game, man. He played a good game. But what happened here is the defense, man. The defense stepped up for Houston, something that's pretty rare. I mean, they have a good enough defense to win the division, a good enough defense to make it through the first round. Yeah, okay, you better have. But once again, proved if you can't run the game, if you can't run the ball, you ain't winning championships. And if you can't stop the run, you ain't winning championships. And that was definitely proven today, and definitely in the second game. As like I said, we'll get to that. There's a ton of stuff going on there. The Chargers Houston game through the first half, Chargers had 9 first downs. The Texans had 10. At that time, the Chargers only had one turnover. Houston turned the ball over twice. Chargers had one penalty. Houston had 4 penalties. Chargers had 2 sacks. Houston had 1 sack. Passing yards were 88 yards for the Chargers at halftime. 167 yards for Houston at halftime. Rushing yards, there was no rushing game for the Chargers today. 35 at halftime, Only 47 for the Texans, but they didn't need it with 167 yards through the air. Total yards was 123 for the Chargers and 214 for the Texans. That's through the first half. Also in the first half, Chargers had 4 punts. Texans had 3. Time of possession was the Chargers 16:42 and the Texans 13:18. Now in the first half, in the third downs, as we were talking, third downs, the Chargers were 1 for 7. 1 for 7 on third down. That ain't getting it done, folks. That ain't going to get it done. 1 for 7 is not going to get it done. Yeah, unless you really turn it around big time in the second half. And the Texans, not that much better, 3 for 7, but they were moving the ball and scoring. Big difference when. If you're going to convert on that rate and you're scoring, well, I guess we'll take it. Not what you want, but you'll take it because it's effective, and it's not slowing you down. I forgot. I did put the wrong score up there. It was 32-12, not 25-12. I forgot to add the other one. My bad. Should have seen that. But when you see the score, just pay no attention to it. It should be 32-12, not 25-12. All right, and on the first drive was a 3-and out for Houston. Houston stopped the Chargers on the first drive, 3-and out. They actually lost yards, wound up with a field goal. The second drive, after the fumble, they stopped and they wound up getting a field goal out of that. So they ended up the game. The Chargers ended up with 15 first downs, Texans 20 first downs. Turnovers, wound up Chargers 4 turnovers, and the Texans 2 turnovers. I'm sorry, 4. Texans had 4 takeaways. Sorry. Penalties. The Chargers only had 2 penalties for minus 10 yards in the whole game. So they played discipline. On the other side, Houston had 4 for 88. 8 for 88 yards. My bad. 8 for 40 for 88 yards there. In the sack category, they got to Hayward 4 times for minus 31. They got Stroud 3 times for minus 21. Didn't matter. It didn't slow them down. Total passing yards was Chargers 211 for the game. Texans had 261 for the game. Rushing yards, Chargers wound up with 50 yards rushing. Texans had 168 rushing. Total yards, Chargers had 261. Chargers had 261. Texans had 429 total yards. Really turning on in that second half. Fourth downs, the Texans went 2 for 2 on fourth down, and the Chargers went 0 for 1 on fourth down. Chargers wound up with 5 punts for a 44.2 average, and the Texans punted the ball 4 times for a 45.8 average. Total time of possession, Chargers 25 minutes, 35 seconds. The Texans 34 minutes, 25 seconds. And that 8 minutes or 8.5 minute of difference is the running game, my friends. It is the running game. That's the difference. When you can run the ball in the playoffs, you're going to win, especially if the other team cannot stop it. And if you can't run 50 yards, final score is 32-12. That's what happens. And it can't get any worse. They score a touchdown, which could put them back in the game. They go to kick the extra point, they block it, they run it back, and they get a safety out of it. It's unbelievable. But that's the playoffs, and that's why we play the game. That's why there's 60 minutes on the clock. But an absolutely tremendous performance today by the Texans defense, as far as I'm concerned. It was absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning performance. So Texans move on. they'll see. We got to wait for tomorrow. There's all kinds of scenarios. We'll just wait till it plays out and see what the hell happens there, and we'll go from there. Um, what else we got going on? Yeah, and when we get to the Steeler Raven game in a minute, we're going to show you what it means to be what you call dominant, especially running the ball. What a day by Henry. But just to wrap up real quick with this here Chargers and Texas game. Chargers had a great year, one and done. You got to go. It's a tough way to go out when you're embarrassed like that. But hey, does that mean the Texans are for real? Well, we know one thing: they'll be playing next week. So let's see who their opponent is after tomorrow's games between Denver and Buffalo, and we'll figure out where everybody's going from there. And of course, there's still 2 games. No, there's still 3 games to be played in the NFC, so we don't know where anybody's going there yet. Well, we kind of do if things work out. I mean, we don't have to be a genius on that one. The second game of the doubleheader today saw what I hoped wouldn't happen, but it did happen. It wasn't the major blowout. They did cover the 9.5, winning by 14, falling short of the over by 1.5. But the Steelers were embarrassed. Just absolutely nothing happening for them. And we kind of hoped it wouldn't happen, but it did. I mean, they dominated. What are you going to do? What are you going to do when you get a performance like that? 13 straight running plays. 15 straight running plays before a pass. Lamar on five in a row or 6 in a row. Henry it was like getting beat up, man. It was just like punch after punch after punch, and then the Steelers just couldn't get absolutely nothing going till they scored that touchdown and that other touchdown, and it looked like almost, and then dominance prevails. And like I said, man, if you can't run the ball, you're not going anywhere in these playoffs. And damn sure if you can't stop them, you damn sure ain't going nowhere. So when we look at this game, let's start with the running game, just to show you what the difference is here. Harris for the Steelers carried the ball 6 times for 17 yards, averaging 2.8. Derrick Henry, on the other hand, carried the ball 26 times for 186 yards. That is a playoff performance, my friend. That's Eric Dickerson territory. That's up there with performances. That's up there with Peyton. Wow. 186 on 26 carries. He averaged 7.2 a carry, 2 touchdowns. Just absolutely dominant. And then you throw Lamar in there. Let's get Lamar's stats. Lamar was 16 for 21 for 175 yards. So Henry ran for more than Jackson threw for. 2 touchdowns just the way. And he had a 132 rating in this game, man. That is powerful. That is performance, my friend. And then when you look at the Steelers, the second leading rusher on the Steelers was Russell Wilson with 3 carries for 6 yards. I'll stop right there. That's as far as it goes for the running game. We'll get to the final numbers in a minute, but they're absolutely horrible. They're absolutely horrible. This was supposed to be there. You know what? I know what happened. Thank you very much for load. I know what happened. That's what went wrong. Oh my goodness gracious. It's late, folks. But we're good now, right? Right? Oh. There you go. There's everybody else's numbers up there. Okay. So we got all the numbers running for you. Wow, that was fucked up, man. Huh? Don't laugh.
Funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you. I make you laugh. You on drugs?
Take a brain reset. Oh, beer of choice tonight. Sam Adams. It's always good when you get Sam Adams out in California. So the numbers as we go here. You ain't shitting. All right, there we go. Absolutely dominated by the Ravens, right? Let's look at these numbers. In the first half, the Steelers had 2 first downs. 2 first downs, first half, right? Ravens, 19. No turnovers either team. Steelers penalized 3 times. Ravens penalized twice. 1 sack for the Ravens. Passing yards for the Steelers, 40. Ravens, 144. Rushing yards, Steelers, 19. Ravens, 164. First half, total yards. Total yards, Steelers, 59. Ravens, 308. It's over at halftime, right? So this is one of them games where the score just doesn't make sense. When you look at the numbers, it should have been like 50. Anyway, no 4th downs attempted in the first half. The Steelers punted the ball 4 times. Yeah, Steelers punted the ball 4 times, 52.5 average. Baltimore, 1 time. Time of possession, Steelers 9 minutes 33 seconds. Baltimore 20 minutes and 27 seconds. That's running the fucking ball. Control the clock, control the game, control the flow, control everything. You gotta fucking run it. And if you fucking stop the run, you could do just the same the other way. And when you have a passing attack and Lamar Jackson on the other side, you got yourself a fucking formula of winning. And I told you in the beginning, what Lamar Jackson are we going to see? Well, if this is the Lamar Jackson that we're going to see throughout the playoffs, Baltimore is going to the Super Bowl. Just plain and simple. Then, in the first half, 3rd downs, Steelers were 1 for 5. Baltimore, 7 for 8 on 3rd down. Second half, the total first downs for Pittsburgh in the game, 11. Total first downs for Baltimore, 29. No turnovers in the game. Steelers penalized 7 times for 41 yards. Baltimore 3 times for 14 yards. The Steelers got 1 sack for -10. Baltimore had 4 sacks for -19. Passing yards, Steelers 251. Baltimore 165. Rushing yards, Steelers 29 rushing yards, which means they only got 10 yards rushing in the second half. Baltimore 299 rushing yards in the second half. I mean, in the game. For the game. 299 rushing for the game. Total yards, Steelers 280 yards, and Baltimore 464 yards total. Yeah, they had 299 yards total rushing, which means they had about 140, almost 150 yards in the second half anyway. So what's the fucking difference there? They just blew them out of the building. 4th downs, Pittsburgh was the only one they went for 0 for 1. Baltimore didn't have to. The Steelers wound up punting the ball 5 times for a 51.4 average, and Baltimore punted the ball 4 times for 45.8. Time possession, the Steelers had the ball for 20 minutes and 27 seconds, while Baltimore, again, when you run the ball, you control the clock, you control the game. 39 minutes and 33 seconds time of possession for the Ravens. Third down on offense for the game. Pittsburgh was 5 for 11, where Baltimore was 10 for 15. So if you listen to the pregame, I told you about third downs and what the Steelers had to do to possibly stay in this, and they failed to do either one, and that was run the ball, three things: run the ball, stop the run, and convert on third down, and it just didn't happen for them, man. They got blown out, and that's what happens. That's when defense and offense and everything's clicking on all cylinders. You're coming in hot. The Ravens are tough. I don't know. This is going to be tough to put them out in the AFC, man. They might be tougher than I thought, but we'll see. We'll see. Let's tomorrow play out between Denver and Buffalo, and we'll go from there for sure. We still have the Packers and Eagles tomorrow, so there's a lot of football to be played. So let's just see what happens. Okay, it takes a minute. We get excited first couple games. But I think we've seen the real Lamar Jackson that we're going to see throughout the rest of these playoffs, which is dangerous for the rest of the teams in the AFC. And, Houston's they're like the Bengals. Who's showing up? This team shows up next week, they're going to be a tough out regardless of who they play. Or they could just fold it up like a chair, man, and that'd be it. So, we got a lot to look forward to. There's a lot of football left. We still got 3 games. We got 3 games still on the 4 games on the slate. What am I talking about? We got 4 games on the slate. 3 tomorrow and 1 Monday. Again, the game Monday is in Arizona now because of the wildfires in California. So the LA Rams will be playing as home in Arizona, which is ironic because they're playing in the stadium that canceled all the fucking policies out there for what's going on in California. So it's pretty ironic. So LA goes to the stadium that canceled all the fire and all the other insurance policies out there in California. Good for them. They go to Arizona to play there, and they will be playing the Minnesota Vikings. Tomorrow we have the Packers. We took the Packers. We took the Bucks, and we also are taking the Rams. So right now we're 1-1 on everything, 1-1 on the over/under, and 1-1 in picks. Like I said, Chargers just did not show up. Hey, but what are you gonna do, man? Shit happens. Shit fucking happens.
Hoo-ah!
All right. So, what we got tomorrow? Tomorrow we're gonna be on Tuesday night again. That's when we're coming back on. We're gonna be back on Tuesday night. Yeah, we'll be back on Tuesday night to wrap everything up. It's an outside shot. It's an outside shot of us coming on after the Buck game tomorrow night. Especially if they win. Jesus, man. All right. No, I keep fucking hitting the same thing that I don't want to hit, but every time I just keep hitting it every fucking time, and I don't mean to hit it. It's just like yeah. So yeah, we'll be back on Tuesday night to wrap up the 3 games on Sunday and the Monday night game. Recap everything. I think we're just going to enjoy Sunday tomorrow, kicking back, relaxing, hanging out, chilling, and just enjoying some downtime, enjoying some football. I enjoyed all the football today, and it was cool to do this because this was quick and the way the games were spaced apart. The first game was 1:30 out here, so we had the morning to get everything together. Tomorrow you got 10 o'clock. Yeah, 10 o'clock, 1:30, and 5. So cool. Enjoy all the football tomorrow, my friends. Enjoy all the football tomorrow. And it is all about All about Bucks, baby. The Bucks tomorrow over the Redskins, and then we will have a very, very happy Monday. Looking forward to the following week. So anyway, as I was saying, we'll be back Tuesday night to recap everything that happened. So hope you enjoyed the show and the recap we got going. Um, hey, we were spot on, man. It's just Chargers forgot to show up. So if you think of everything I said about the Chargers and then substitute the word Texans, that's the result of that game. So it's spot on, just the wrong team. Second game, totally there. We got it. And we got the 3 games tomorrow that we're definitely going to be dominating. I feel comfortable about all the bets that we made. And I feel comfortable about all the picks. All the picks. I mean, just that Broncos Bills game. Pay attention, folks. It could be one of the ones for the ages. It really could be. And as the day goes on, it gets colder. So the Eagles Packers game should be really nice and toasty. And then to warm things up, you go to Tampa. Should be nice and humid. Nice humid night there in Tampa to play some football and take out the Redskins. And then Monday night to wrap up a wild card weekend. The 6th game on the slate. The game that was originally played in LA is moved to Arizona. The Minnesota Vikings, LA Rams home game. Don't think it'll affect anything much. It's not that bad of a ride. I'm sure there's a lot of pissed off people, but what are you going to do? I mean, the fucking state's on fire. So live with it, folks. Fucking pack up and go, or go fucking help the people down there. All right, and my heart's out to everybody who lost their lives, lost everything out there, man. It is absolutely fucking horrific and tragic. And I pray for you people, and I hope everything works out. And hopefully, help is on the way. The real help, the people who are going to help you. So our hearts go out to all those in California. With that being said, all right, we're going to get out of here. I hope you enjoyed the show, like I said, and we'll be back Tuesday night to wrap everything up. And I also put up there, we'll be back on Thursday night with the top 5 quarterbacks of all time. I was going to do it on Friday, but I just didn't think. We do a lot of research. We do lots and lots of research before we do these shows. And I wanted more. I wanted to give you more on the quarterbacks because I think it's going to be a hell of an argument for the 5 I chose. You might agree, you might disagree, but hopefully you disagree and we can talk about it. We can discuss it like human beings and see where it stands by going into the comments and all that. So, with that being said, get in the description, check out the sponsors, check out all the links. There's all kinds of stuff in there for you guys to check out. There's plenty out there, people. More than anything, there's plenty of content, especially on the website. Go check that out. Yeah, other than that, we'll be back on Tuesday night, 8:30 Pacific time, 11:30 Eastern time. I don't know what it'd be Mountain time, but if you live in the mountains, you know what time to be there. You'll figure it out from there. All right. With that being said, folks, man, I love you. Numbers are great on Rumble, YouTube. The numbers are starting to increase on YouTube, which is really cool, and I appreciate it. But the numbers are increasing, but we got to get some likes and we got to get some subs, man. So hit the sub, hit the like, hit the share, let you people know. Come on, help us out. We're doing good. We're starting to gain some momentum, especially on Rumble. Keep it coming, Rumble. But again, on Rumble, man, let's hit that follow so you don't miss nothing. Hit the follow and hit the like when you're there. Appreciate everybody. Love you all. If you could help the show, the links are in the description. Everything's in the description. Get in there. Check everything out. We appreciate you and love you. Okay? Thank you. And people in California, I live in California, but I'm lucky I'm up north. Well, I'm not really lucky. I live near San Francisco, which is fucking just as horrible, except it ain't on fire. But anyway, remember, when you come up to the 3rd floor, folks, always remember to bowl up. To bong up. We don't have a bong. And then beam up to the 3rd floor. We'll be here hanging out, waiting on you, just hanging out in space and time. Peace. Peace, people.